Welcome to Democratic Television, a program of the Santa Clara County Democratic Party that brings insights, perspectives, and attitudes of our always interesting guests. Today we're going to do a program on an organization called Food What? Our guests, Doron and Vicky, are going to let us know all about it. So, how did I do? Did I get some of that right?
You did pretty good.
Doron, you've been involved in Food What since the beginning. What the heck is Food What?
Well, we say food what, so it's both a question and a statement, and it invites a conversation about food. And we are a youth empowerment and food justice program located in Santa Cruz, and we serve youth from all over Santa Cruz County.
And Vicky, you are one of those youth?
Yes, I graduated last year, and I'm currently employed by Food What as a strawberry festival organizer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you like being involved in Food What?
Yes, I like it. It played a real important part in my life last year.
Good. We're going to come back to your life last year and learn a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about food justice and what is that concept? What does it mean, food justice, and how does that relate to the program that you helped found?
Sure. Do you want to share what you believe what's your working definition of food justice right now?
Food justice for me means having justice for food, like a community has food available that's healthy for them, that there isn't a food scarcity, and that the farmers get treated right.
Oh, okay.
And the farm laborers as well.
So it's sort of a holistic thing. There's not just one little piece to it, but we're eating healthy. The people who produce are well taken care of, both in terms of health and maybe compensation.
Yes. There's also the environmental aspect of it. There's no degradation of the environment.
Well, that sounds great. It sounds like somebody's trying to change our orientation to what we eat and think more carefully about where our food comes from and all that.
Yeah, and we see the food justice piece of our program is very much how we apply a lot of the youth empowerment that we're working on with our crews. It's a place for them to take action about something when and if they feel there's importance there.
What do you mean empowerment? How does that relate to Food What?
Sure. So youth empowerment and Food What is an interesting idea. A lot of programs for youth kind of have an A to B relationship. Like a anti-smoking campaign might say, we're going to deliver A program and then the outcome will be B. This many youth will stop smoking or this many youth will never start smoking. Our program, Food What, takes a youth empowerment approach in everything we do, and youth empowerment is the end. So what we're looking at is creating a safe, nurturing, productive space for young people to find their voices, to find their confidence, to figure out for themselves what are they interested in doing with their lives and being able to set those goals and moving into that space productively. So it's less of an A to a B, it's almost like an A to infinity, because anything could happen with a young person after going through this type of programming, this type of food wedding.
Has that happened to you? Just all kinds of stuff has opened up in the year or so that you've been involved?
Yeah, my life drastically changed after Food What. Like, it changed to a point where I didn't think that was going to happen.
How did you hear about Food What?
I participated my junior year in high school in my school's garden club.
Oh.
And through that, I heard that they were hiring people for Food What from my school. Well, my senior year, I applied for Food What.
And where did you go to school?
I went to Pajaro Valley High School, which is in Watsonville.
Watsonville,
Yeah.
And did you meet him then?
Yes, he was he was the one that came. Doron came to our school. I didn't know. Well, at first I was like, oh, I guess this is just a recruiter, maybe somebody that's like an intern or something. But No, he's the director. He's the one that created Food What.
So that's interesting. Part of what you do is your outreach to find students that want to be involved in the program. How does that work?
Well, at this point, this is the beginning of the 7th year of Food What, our 7th season.
Mm-hmm.
And we start with a spring internship. That's the first of 3 graduated leadership opportunities at Food What. A spring internship, a summer job, and then a fall management position. That's the cycle of Food What.
I see.
So at this point of the year, I'm going into the schools, or actually at the beginning of the year, I go into the schools and I toss around some fruit and talk about an interesting opportunity to come get dirty on a farm and learn leadership skills, and you get 2 credits in school and you get a stipend and you get something to put on your resume and get some job training. And really what we found is the first year we hired 5 youth for this spring internship, and this year we hired 60. And we probably had close to 200 youth who have applied with less outreach than we've ever done. So what we're seeing is there's really a need in our community, and I would argue in any community around the country, for real meaningful youth programming.
I have a few different questions. First of all, where did you come from? What got you involved in all of this? Where did you grow up? And
Well, I'm a little bit of a mutt, so I grew up all over the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And my previous life to this, I was a community organizer in the South Bronx, helping folks preserve and save their community gardens when they were being threatened for bulldozing. And during that time, I worked with a lot of youth in these gardens, and I just saw how food and gardening is just, it's such a universal entry point to so many things, to your own personal growth, to activism, to taking steps in your community or in your own life to seeing something change in a positive way. And I got involved with an organization, a national group called Rooted in Community, and got to meet all of these organizations and just name a city around the country. And I met an organization doing what Food What is doing through Rooted in Community, and realized that this is a movement. This is a powerful movement of youth taking action in their own communities for themselves and for the neighborhood and for their families, and got excited about starting this type of a program, and ended up on the UCSC farm at an organic farming program to build that set of skills. Actually thought Santa Cruz was close to LA, which it wasn't, and I brought a lot of shorts, which I didn't ever wear in the summer. And shortly after, I was debating between starting Food What in one of my 2 communities, either New York City or Santa Cruz, and chose Santa Cruz and chose well.
And so here you were in a gardening club. What got you involved in gardening?
Well, it was my junior year, and they started telling, oh, you gotta apply for college next year, and I hadn't had any extracurricular activities to put. So my junior year after school, every day I would go to a club, and the garden, I didn't have Tuesday or Thursday filled, so I'm like, might as well join the garden. And I like to garden. Like, it comes, like, my mom likes to garden, my grandma, so it's kind of like a tradition.
Oh.
And so as I got in the program, I started to like the gardening club, and then I heard about Food What, and
Here you are.
yes.
Would you share with Steve what you're doing in school now?
I'm currently at UCSC, UC Santa Cruz.
Oh.
It's my first year. I'm the first one in my family to actually go to a UC. And go above Cabrillo, which is our local school.
Local community college?
Yeah, local community college.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And my major right now is legal studies. My plan is to become an environmental and labor law lawyer.
Oh, wow. So when you were growing up, did you have any role models or heroes, or think, that's the kind of person I want to be?
Well, I grew up in a single parent home. My mom was the only one there, and my mom, she really showed me and gave me the passion that in order to succeed in life, you have to work at it. You have to work hard. My mom worked really hard for all of us, And that's the one trait that I appreciate that she gave me, is working hard.
So she was your role model.
Yeah,
Well, that's great. She must be very proud of you.
she is. She's very tough on me now. She's like, you're UCSC, you gotta get straight A's, you gotta graduate.
Well, probably a lot of other people are watching you, both in your family and, you know, in the school where you grew up in Watsonville. So
Yeah, I know.
no pressure.
My cousins are very proud of me too, because they only got to Cabrillo, and they are very proud of me. They're like, they always tell me, you have an opportunity that we didn't get. You should go for it. You have to succeed.
Now, this is going to sound like a loaded question, but would you be going to UC Santa Cruz if you didn't have the Food What experience?
I probably wouldn't. My plan was to go to a state school.
Oh,
Yeah, just 'cause it seemed easier. I mean, when it came down to deciding what school I went to, it came out to the financial aid packet I would get.
mm.
And UC Santa Cruz basically almost paid for everything, so it was my last choice to go there.
Oh, but what a dream come true because of the Food What program being close by and being close to home and to your mom and others. That's good.
Yeah. Like, I really appreciated going to UC Santa Cruz and living there, because I got to participate in the fall job for Food What, and now I'm in the spring job. And it basically, I wanted to stay, and if I would have gone to a state school, like, I would have planned to go to Humboldt State University, which is really far away, and I probably wouldn't come back.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been hard for you to plan the strawberry event all the way up north.
Yeah.
Now, what is the strawberry event?
The strawberry event is where we have 200 to 300 youth from Santa Cruz County come to the farm, and they come and they enjoy a day where they, through workshops and food tasting, they learn about health and nutrition and about food justice.
So it's a one day that for folks, and you organize this thing called the Strawberry Blast.
Yes, it's a one-day event.
Oh, that sounds very good. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, lots more to learn about Food What? Did I do that okay?
Pretty good.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Senator Jim Bell from Santa Clara County, and I want to talk a little bit about mental health issues today. I think that we have to have a law on mental health parity. And what I mean by this is that if you have a mental health problem or a substance abuse problem, you ought to get the same level of treatment that somebody that has heart disease or diabetes or other illnesses. And we need a law that requires this, because the consequences of not having good mental health treatment and substance abuse treatment in our community is very, very big. It costs our state government a lot of money. If we have untreated people, they end up going to prison, they end up going homeless, and we recover that cost by spending $50,000 on somebody to go to state prison, $300,000 to go to the state mental hospital per year. I think there's a better solution. I think prevention and treatment is the better solution, and that we can save money and then spend the money on education, educating our children. Thank you.
Welcome back to our special show on an unusual organization in Santa Cruz called Food What? No. Food What?
Food what?
Food What?
You got it.
Food What?
Food what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. We're getting it. So your program's been around for about 7 years. You guys have a future. It sounds like you're onto something that's very important and seems to be picking up all over the country. I know there's more and more emphasis on eating healthy, on understanding food deserts and where there aren't neighborhoods that have healthy foods. Are those the kinds of things that you're able to address?
Yeah, Food What is using food towards youth empowerment, and in the process we're seeing youth in the program have great changes in their personal nutrition or that of their families. We're seeing them able to get jobs, going to school, getting the support to get in their financial aid. Like, little details actually make a huge difference in being able to take that next step in life. And at Food What, we provide a lot of the support towards those steps.
You guys aren't just out there growing healthy foods, you're out there marketing it, you're teaching some entrepreneurial skills and things like that.
Yeah, something that Vicki did an incredible job with was this year we piloted a community educators program. So Vicki was one of our 3 youth community educators, and we went into the schools and also at our big events and had peer-to-peer teaching. And something that I noticed, like when we were at PV High, is that I can deliver a really good workshop, but when Vicki steps up in front of the room, you could hear a pin drop. The other students they're really paying attention, and I think they're seeing 2 things. They're paying attention because the material is really interesting, and they're paying attention because they're seeing you as a leader, and I think they see themselves in you. And so you're very effective in both modeling leadership and delivering some material that is really interesting to them.
So how has the program impacted you? How has it helped your family? How has it helped you? And what are you trying to tell other people they should be doing when they check out Food What?
Well, coming from a traditional Mexican family, like our food basically consisted of beans, tortillas, meat, and rice. So we barely had no vegetables at all in our food. And being with Food What, during the spring, we would see that they would incorporate a lot of vegetables into the meals. And then in the summer, when I started working, we would each get a bag of produce that we had grown. And when I took it home the first week, like my mom didn't know what to do with it. She didn't know how to cook vegetables since she hadn't grown up cooking vegetables. So it kind of went to waste, I would say, because we didn't finish the bag, like the whole bag of food. And then a few weeks later, I told my mom, don't cook tonight. I'm going to cook, just pure vegetables for dinner. So I cooked. My mom liked it. My brothers and sisters, unfortunately, didn't. So they didn't eat that night, But yeah, like it got to the point where I would be cooking at least once a week, the vegetables. And I would get pretty tired coming from working on the farm. So I started to teach my mom how to cook the vegetables. And my mom, as she learned, she's like, well, can we put some meat? I'm like, I guess you can put meat, And then she started to incorporate the rice as well with the vegetables. And my mom now, she knows how to incorporate vegetables in our traditional meals. It's like we're not losing our culture. We're basically bettering our culture just for our health. It's something important that in my family it has changed a lot. We're eating healthier now. The next step for me is to push my mom to buy organic food. But that's not so much a realistic goal right now at this moment, just financially. But
so change happens slowly, but the awareness that's there that you learned from the program, that you're learning still from the program, I'm sure, is something that's spreading.
Yes.
And when you came to Food What, you had an experience through your mom's work of having a relationship to agriculture and food systems. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yes. My mom came from Mexico 18 years ago, and she started as a strawberry picker, and she didn't like that job at all. Her back hurt, her waist hurt, and so then she switched to blackberry and raspberry pickers. It was a little bit less harsh on her body, but it still affected her body greatly. And I know that as I was growing up as a kid in elementary school, we would love to go to the summer and work with her. Well, we didn't really work. We would just play around with my brothers and sisters. But then once I got to get older and I understood what she was doing, I started to see that it is a harsh job. She faced a lot of pain when she was working there, not just physically but emotionally. She was tired every day. Like I would see it when we would get home, or she would get home, she was tired all the time. And I've actually, last year I went to work with her for the summer. I worked with her in the strawberries, and I saw it's a hard job. I only lasted 2 weeks. After that, I dropped out. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to see my mom go through that. And when I started Food What, I saw a big difference in how my mom was treated, because I expected Food What to treat me the same way, but it was different. Food What, like, they gave us breaks. If we didn't want a break, they make us take a break. They make us drink water.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they took care of us. They showed us something that my mom never got and she never seen, which is respect.
Yeah.
My mom, I'm only 19 years old, and I've been treated with respect. My mom's almost 40. She has not had respect in her whole life. It's something that affected me greatly when I compared my life to hers.
Well, I have to credit you, Doron, for that too. I mean, you are the one who realized people are to be treated with dignity and respect. So,
Yeah.
very moving.
Thank you.
So, how is the organization funded? Do you get donations? You can't live off vegetable sales.
No, that's true. Well, Food What is a program of Life Lab, which is a nonprofit, and we're located on the UCSC Farm and Garden, but we are an independent nonprofit. And so we very much appreciate and encourage all forms of donations. Right now, we're looking for actual funding to make the pilot program that Vicki ran, the Community Educators, an official program of Food What. And the easiest way to find us is through our website, which is foodwhat.org.
So, but you grew your first year from, did you say 5 students to how many?
60 are in the spring program, and we serve probably close to about 1,000 students a year at this point.
Wow.
Through our different events and different activities.
And so, do you do things in the community to show people what Food What does, and people then get more awareness of it? It can't just be through your going to schools.
Right. We do our big events in the spring and the fall for students countywide. We do low-income farm stands in town to support the community with fresh, local, organic produce that youth like Vicki and the rest of the crew are growing themselves. Every youth in the summer program takes home a veggie share, as Vicki spoke to, bringing the food home to her mom. And we're in partnership with a lot of organizations looking at youth development, job training, college readiness, and anyone who is really invested in youth, we will definitely team up with them.
How big is your staff? That's a lot for one person to do.
Our staff is huge. There's 3 of us.
Oh, 3 of you? Oh, no problem. Piece of cake.
I have an amazing set of partners at Food What. Abby Bell and Alex is our newest staff member. There's 3 of us. And part of the success of the program is that it's built off of a model that invites and incorporates youth to take leadership roles, including staff roles within the organization. So, for example, this year, or last fall, Vicki planned the Harvest Festival. This year, I'm going to be mentoring Vicki to actually lead the other youth who are planning the Strawberry Festival. So in essence, she will be the staff person training them, and I'll be giving her mentoring and support. And part of the reason why our program is really effective, and I would recommend this to anyone working with youth, is just ask them what they think. So at the end of every program, we ask the youth on our crew what worked well, what didn't work well. We use the language of straight talk, which includes positives and improvables. And we take that information very much to heart. We constantly recreate the program so it's innovative and it's reflective of youth culture as it is today, which is different than it was yesterday, and it'll be different again in a month. And I think that's one of the strengths of our program, is that it's always relevant. So the work that we're doing really can connect with youth, and they can extract out of it as much as they're interested in.
So you mentioned that you aren't doing this in isolation. There are other food justice programs around the country. What part of a network might you be part of, and how does that help you be successful?
Yeah, we are part of the Rooted in Community Network, and there's a larger food justice movement out there with many different local and national groups. We're seeing a change in the food justice movement in the last number of years. It's really exploding. It's not just health and nutrition, it's not just organics, it's really about meaningful change in communities, especially in low-income communities or communities that haven't had the resources or the privileges of other communities. And what we see for us as Food What is by connecting into something like Rooted in Community, we get best practices, we get allies and partners to talk about the work, and for our youth, they get to see that they're part of something larger. It's not just Santa Cruz County or even this part of California, it's actually national. And then by going to a national gathering, they see they're part of a global movement for justice.
Well, and the real cool thing about you, Vicki, is here you are in the program now, but what are you thinking of doing? You're thinking of going to law school, becoming a labor lawyer, and I have to think that's going to deal with justice issues and workers' rights kinds of issues.
Yes, and not only that, I have a writing class, and one of my projects, my final project was on food justice. So the other important part is spreading and helping people understand what food justice is. Like grasping the concept of what it is and that what is happening with our justice issues in labor and food scarcity, food deserts that we have.
Yeah.
What did you find in that class? You were telling me this story on the way up.
Oh, I found that a lot of people, well, I had to work on the project alone because nobody else knew the concept of food justice. So when I presented, my final presentation was yesterday. And as I presented, a lot of people were pretty shocked to know that like Watsonville has food justice issues, and it's like so close to Santa Cruz County that has like 3 major markets.
Wow.
And they were shocked. And one girl asked me, why would you focus on lower income communities? And I said, because they're the ones that are really affected by food justice. They are the ones that don't have access to healthy food.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you both for being on the show. We will hopefully find a lot of people coming to Food What and saying, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thanks for watching Democratic Television. Give us a call at 408-445-9500 or visit our website, sccdp.org. See you on the campaign trail.